Welcome, welcome back to another live session, traders. Hope that you had an enjoyable day. Starting another trading week for the first session of today, as Wednesday, another pretty big trading day coming up today. And let's look at the market to see what kind of trading opportunity we have in this session. If we look at currently, as on Wednesday, we can see that early there was two high impact news that we have seen published on CAD and AUD, and tomorrow coming up preliminary GDP. If we look at the calendar, we can see that tomorrow coming up dollar preliminary GDP and then unemployment claims, two high impact news. And let's look at the market to see what kind of trading opportunity we have this week. As you can see, gold early after the daily open, there is a sharp rejection from this high. It's a complete break below, complete from the higher price on gold. So currently what we can see on gold, the market started to trend in the major direction here. So let's quickly look at the market to see overall how the price is doing. And then we will be looking for potential entry opportunity as soon as we find that entry. If you guys look at, you can see this is the 15-minute perspective here on gold, and we can see there was a break of structure early. And the market started to trend again to the downside after this daily open. The prices crossed this daily high here, and after cross of this daily high, it grabbed the liquidity, and then we see there is a stronger rejection in this market. And that rejection, if we look at closely, we can see the market slowly building that pressure back below and expecting gold to trend in the major direction of the trend. So that being said, what we can see here, if you look at here, this is the primary move back to the upside on gold, which is on the 4-hour time frame. And the overall picture, if we look at the daily, we can see previous day was pretty sharp bullish engulfer formation here, and that bullish engulfer that we can see on gold has built that massive bullish engulfer with another bearish rejection here in that area. So currently the market is getting the rejection from that high, and we could see the price to potentially continue to trend here to this support level. Now the question is, are we going to go long or short? Let's understand that from the lower time frame perspective here that we're looking at on gold to see either we will be looking for sell or buy in this market. So if we look at the daily, okay, so let's look at the full multi-time frame analysis. Before I go to the multi-time frame, guys, good morning. Good morning. I would like to see that all members are here. You guys looking at gold or euro dollar? Euro dollar, so you can see the downtrend as you discussed from yesterday, what you discussed from that level. The market has started to trend back below here. So I'm going to look at on gold as well as on euro dollar to see how the market is potentially doing here in that area. So looking at here on gold, let's see that how the market potentially be doing. Do you want to look at gold or euro dollar? I would like to see the most member first, which instrument that you want to look at. I can go with that, and then we can slowly build up the pressure based on the time frame price action. If you look at here, you can see that euro dollar also having a sharp downtrend here from this high, and after this downtrend on euro dollar, after crossing that liquidity zone, there is a break below here, and that break we can see the market currently creating new lower low in that area. So that being said, we'll be looking at euro dollar as well as gold, and also if we see that other pairs such as dollar yen and Gbpjpy, also we can look for potential entry. Yesterday we had a successful trade on euro dollar. You guys have seen that in this live session. Now, as we are progressing through this week, we see the market is pretty volatile here. And today I'm looking at here on gold again to see where the market is potentially be heading. So let's first look at gold here. Good morning. Xauusd approach on gold would be great. Thank you. Okay, so I'm looking at gold, and then we will be jumping onto the different instrument throughout the session. Now, before I progress further, I would like you guys stay fully tuned. And if you are enjoying that I'm doing every day, this live session, make sure you like this stream and also subscribe to the channel. Did you like this stream? When you like, the algorithm likes as well. So that goes faster. Thank you. Okay, so what's happening? Raining? Okay, what's happening here? We can see that there is a rejection from the higher price on the 4-hour time frame on gold, if you look at. And what kind of market structure currently it is building here? If you look at the daily, what do you see? That first of all, I'm looking at the multi time frame. Multi time frame is key. If you look at the multi time frame analysis, you can see how the Gbpusd, okay, so welcome, British Pound US Dollar, good morning. So let's keep Gbpusd on watch list, along with also the gold that we are looking at. Now, if you look at Gbpusd, you can see that this is British Pound US Dollar, and if you look at weekly, monthly, I'll do a full multi-time frame analysis on Gbpusd, guys, if there is any entry. Before we go to that, let's complete gold analysis, potential trade setup, and then we will be looking at British Pound US Dollar in this market. So let's look at on gold here, gold price action, what kind of market structure it is forming here on gold. Now, looking at gold, if you look at the monthly, we can see that from the monthly, as top-down approach is the key. When you look at the high and the low, higher time frame to the lower time frame, that's where the high probability trade setup, that's where we can see that there is a bigger picture in the market. So when you look at the bigger picture, you can see the smaller picture in detail in this market. So let's see here is on the monthly chart what kind of market structure it is forming here on the monthly. So looking at here on the monthly, we can see series of lower high, and with this series of lower high here and series of higher low, we can see that this is the monthly high rejection with a long week, followed by we can see that back to back 3 monthly long week, followed by this current monthly price action that we can see from this resistance. There is a rejection back here. Now, what kind of market structure potentially it is creating on the monthly on gold? We can see that from this high here, there is a resistance line. We can see there is a rejection in the beginning on the monthly price action here on gold. And with that monthly rejection, what we see, the price slowly could potentially, what we expect in the beginning, that market to go ahead and hit that monthly resistance. And we can see now there is a deeper pullback as we are almost nearly at the end of the month, expecting gold to drop back further below here. Now, looking at the weekly, here's the weekly price action that you can see on gold, and weekly perspective here, which is a weekly doji formation. What we can see here, series of lower high, and with this series of lower high here, we can see that the market in this series of lower high formation, where what you can see that the market is maintaining that series of lower high here on the weekly. And this current weekly candle that you can see, there is a weekly doji, which is pretty long doji on the weekly. And with this weekly doji formation on gold, what we can see here, the market tested the weekly low, has got the rejection back above here in this market. If we look at the daily, what we can see on the daily, there's a daily bullish impulse to the upside here. And that daily impulse that you can see, the market has crossed that high here, and with this cross of this high on the daily, we could see the price to potentially grab the liquidity here and then to potentially reject. Now what we have seen that yesterday's candle was a bull candle, the market on the resistance, and today after cross of this high there is a sharp rejection from the top, from the higher price in this market. So that being said, as the market has got that rejection from the higher price on gold, what we can expect the market to possibly trend back down to this daily support level, and that is where we can look for possible entry, as the market is trending now currently in the downside, though it is a long-term bull market. Shorting GU we'll be looking at. Now here what we can see on gold from the 4 hour, if you guys look at, you can see the market initially after the previous session's close, the price tried to bounce back to the upside to the major direction of the trend. Instead we can see the market from this 4 hour high, it's started to drop. Now where we can expect this market to potentially coming, now this is a very crucial point, right? Because by understanding this, we will be able to know either we are going to be bullish or bearish in this market, right? So if you look at the 4 hour, what you can see here, this is the 4 hour resistance here. There is a long weak candle. And if you look at the daily here, you can see this is the daily low where there is a daily 10 and 20 EMA. So looking back here on the 4 hour chart, this candle that we have seen on the first day of trading week has formed during the Asian session is quite important. Why? Because this 4 hour candle is nearly to 2 ATR candle, and or more than that. So when you see that such a large ATR candle, if you look at such a large ATR candle extended to the upside, such a large ATR candle extended in one direction, which in fact we could see the market to extend that candle potentially to the support level. Now what we can see here in this market is that as the market overextended in one direction, as the market overextended in one area, now we could see the market ultimately extend now to this potentially to that 4 hour support level. That's where the possibility that gold from the daily potentially today come back, completely break the previous daily low. This is an analysis and a speculation expecting the market to potentially drop to that level where there is a high liquidity. Therefore, if we look at the lower time frame here, look at the 15-minute chart. Now there is a break of structure. You guys have seen that on the 15-minute, and that break of structure that you can see here. Okay, so with this break of structure where the trend line here, so if you look at here, there is a trend line with this break of structure, and that trend line that you can see here as there is a crossover of 10 and 20 EMA as well, so which is in fact showing that the market possibly to remain bearish. Now in this zone here on the 15-minute chart is we can see that sharp bearish price action in that area. So understanding the market structure is always helpful. Now once you see that the market structure like that, this is the session's high on the 4 hour, and also there is 4 hour opening and close in that area, which is the 15 minutes level that you can see the market trying to approach that area. So also the 5 minutes bearish rejection in that area, we could see the market to potentially retest this any of this level and then to revert back again to the major direction of the trend here. So that being said, what we can expect here is the market to potentially go back here, test that level, and then to trend to the downside here to create a new lower low in this market. That being said, waiting on this market for a deeper pullback and then to return again to the major direction of the trend. Here's the move that you can see on the 15 minutes from this high, the price slowly building the pressure back below. Now, as you can see, the market is slowly to potentially move here for another bounce, potentially back to that here in that level, and which is the price slowly building the pressure back to the upside here. Now, this is the, if you look at the 30 minutes and the 15 minutes price action here, the market is approaching that level where there is a support down resistance. And with this support down resistance, what we can see the price to possibly here is the high here. If you look at here, you can see it's a liquidity zone, and from that liquidity zone that you can see the market potentially to test and then to return again to the major direction of the trend. So that being said, if we look at the 1 hour here, that you can see the market is slowly potentially building the pressure back below here. And what we can expect now is, as the price tested the support, waiting on a deeper move back to the upside. And that's where, if you look at the 1 hour candle, you can see there's a 1 hour, a long doji crossing the 10 and 20 EMA, created a long 1 hour doji. Therefore, the possibility here in this move for the market to come back here to this support at 3370 possible today. Therefore, lower time frame price action that you will be looking for entry opportunity as soon as we find that entry here in this market. Welcome. Here is the move that you can see on gold, and expecting the market to potentially hit that level and then to revert again back below in this market to create a new lower low here in that area. So what you can see here, this is the 15 minutes market, where expecting the price to go ahead, retest, and then to return again. We see there is a doji on the 15 minutes, and that might be a potential for further downside here in this market. The market structure that we can see on gold is bearish, and we could see the market to trend in the major direction here in this market. All right, cool. Now, as we can see, the market is creating the structure for a possible rejection here. While you can see also there might be an entry on British pound US dollar. If you look at from the 4-hour chart on Gbpusd, from the daily as well, we can see this market is slowly turning to a bear market. If you look at the monthly, we are almost nearly to the end of the month, and there is a potential for a deeper rejection from this high. If you look at the weekly, we can see previous week a narrow long week doji. Now this week, after this gap open, it's started to break below here on Gbpusd, and we could see the market to potentially drop that low here, break that low below to create a new lower low in this market. So that being said, on the intraday perspective here, that you can see this is a break to the upside here on Gbpusd with there's a liquidity gap here drop, there's a liquidity gap here drop, there's a liquidity gap here drop. The market here breaking and grabbing liquidity multiple times from this high, and that's where looking at for a possible breakdown here in this market. So here is the 4-hour level that we can see the market is maintaining this series of lower high on Gbpusd, which is showing a potential downtrending market structure, where what we can expect here the market to possibly to test that high on British pound US dollar and then to return again back below to create a new lower low in this market. Here is the move that on Gbpusd we can see the market after cross of this high created sharp bearish engulfer, and with this bearish engulfer we can expect the market to potentially trend here to create a new lower low in this market. So Gbpusd as well expecting a break of the high, especially the 4-hour sessions high to be tested. And if we see that this 4-hour high on the 15-minute chart on Gbpusd to potentially go back up and break completely to the upside here, that's where we will be looking for possible sell entry. This is my sell entry on Gbpusd if the price potentially going back and retest that level. So we'll be leveling that up here on lower time frame. Would like to see that Gbpusd pushing that price back here. If the market invade that resistance level in the next 1.5 an hour, that's the entry point that we will be looking for possible sell on British pound US dollar. So in our watch list, we are looking at Gbpusd, waiting for the market to potentially come back here, retest that level in the next 1.5 an hour before the candle close in this market. And that's the plan on Gbpusd. I will be also later explaining the full reason as well as the strategy behind this trade. While we can see that on gold, here is the gold market where the price from this support level trying to reject back here, and here is a move on gold, and from this support level on gold expecting the market to potentially trend back here on gold as well to have a higher liquidity gap before we look for any sell entry in this market. That being said, waiting for the market to go ahead, show up, retest, and then to return again back below in this market. We're looking at here in this market, slowly the market building up that pressure back above. And if we look at the 4-hour here, what we can see the market slowly going back to the level where there is a liquidity. And if you look at here, you can see this is where the price approaching that key level of resistance line. What we can expect here, the market to possibly to retest and then to return again back below. Here is the move that we can see on gold currently. If the price is going back to retest this 4-hour resistance line again, we will be looking for another entry. And here this move up as the market start to drop back below, any upside bias can be an opportunity for us to sell. Okay, so looking at here, welcome. Here's a move that you can see the market slowly pushing that price back above. And that's where we might find another entry on the 4-hour retest of this level. If we look at the 4-hour here, we can see the market trying to push back up. And I think it's less likely the market may go back up to hit that whole level to the upside. But if it goes there at 3381 level, guys, that's where you will be again selling this market, because that's where the opportunity may come here for another sell. At the moment, it's approaching an important support turn resistance, but I'm not entering yet as we want to see the price has overextended. This is a very important point to look at. We need to see the market has overextended in one direction before we look for that entry for any trade that we will be opening. So if you look at the 15 minutes here on gold, we can see the market slowly trying to build that pressure. And here is where 29.30 pip for 1 ATR. So if we sell this market from that level at 3381 level, we will be looking for around, so if it is 30 pip 1 ATR, now, as the market is slowly building the pressure back to the upside, and we can see the market slowly building that pressure back to the upside here, and where as this is that support here. If you look at here, you can see it's now going to hit that up. And what we can expect here, the market to possibly retest that level and then to reject again back to the upside. 4-hour candlestick pattern, if you look at, you can see that here it's trying to push that price back again. Now this market, if you look at here, you can see this is the session's high and also the 1-hour resistance line here with this doji formation. And that being said, here expecting the market to possibly push there, reach there, and then return back again to the downside here on the lower time frame. While you can see Gbpusd also trying to build that pressure back to the upside. If Gbpusd going to the resistance line again to 1.3465, we will be looking for possible sell opportunity in this market on Gbpusd. Let's wait to see where the market is potentially be heading here. Here's the move that you can see on XAUUSD slowly moving back to the upside here, and that move that you can see where the price slowly pushing that price in that resistance line, expecting the market to hit that level and then to give us another entry. So we will be placing a pending order once the market travels enough distance to that level, as it is slowly trying to build that pressure back to the upside. This is the 1 hour price action, and I would like to the 5-minute chart as well, though it is also an important key level of resistance from the lower time frame. The price still can have a rejection from that level. Here's the move on XAUUSD. We can see that a bullish momentum back to the upside here. We'll be placing sell limit in this level. On gold. So sell limit placing at 3381.64, stop loss at 3386.14, TP target at 3372.47. $3374.70 is the TP target on XAUUSD here. Place sell limit on gold here. Place the sell limit on gold in that level at 3381.64, stop loss at 3386.14, and TP target 3372.47. So we are waiting for an entry on gold from this level, which is sell limit placed on, expecting a potential rejection from this level. Here's the move. We could see that bounce back to the upside to that resistance line. Thanks for the analysis. Welcome. We are almost nearing to the entry point. Guys, make sure you do proper risk management. This is here. The key here is to look for a trade that is based on a strategy with proper risk management. And that is what looking at here. If you look at, you can see the market from this support level, straight bounce back to the upside and approaching an important 4-hour resistance line. The possibility for the market to drop back here is higher, but still there is a possibility for further liquidity gap. So must be risk managed with, if you are trading on a bigger account, very smaller risk. If you're trading on a smaller account, then comparatively smaller risk as much as you can afford to invest in a single trade. But another important thing, guys, I see that views a lot, likes very little. If you're enjoying the live session, if you like this stream, YouTube algorithm likes it. Make sure you smash the like button where you're not using the double bottom forming. Okay, so this is what we are using. Okay, so why am I not using double bottom forming? Very good question. Very good question. Ask questions. That's the key here. Okay, so when you ask question, you start to know more and more. The reason I'm not using double bottom formation is because of the current trend. If you look at the daily market, you see that there is a sharp rejection from the daily higher price. Though we see that all directional trend is bullish, we are looking for a short-term trading opportunity here. Now we see that there is a potential for a head and shoulder, and the possibility for the market to remain bearish today is higher based on the daily price movement. If you look at here daily, you can see that there is a daily cross high, and then there is a trend line on the daily. So long-term key level, the market reached that daily key level, and we saw that there is a rejection after the previous daily massive bullish move. Today we can see the market cross that high, has got that rejection. The long-term trend, if we look at after break any of this high, it still could remain bullish. Still here could be bullish, but for short-term perspective, as we can see, the market has formed a reversal here, started to trend. Okay, and we see one single move back to the upside. So we are using the 15 minutes as a trend for another drop here, because if you look at the 4 hour again, we see that from this support level, the market got that rejection back above. The possibility for the market to drop again to that support level is higher. We could still be used the double bottom as the market has dropped to the 4 hour support, because locally we see the downtrend from the daily as well downtrend. So we are using the short-term trend movement in this market for this entry. So expecting a rejection here below, not even the full half a spectrum will give a lot of movement here in this market. Looking for this move back to the upside here. This is the 30 minutes. You can see one single move, also one single move to the upside is a sign of rejection again back below here. So that way, waiting for the market to hit, retest, and then return back again to the major direction of the trend. So we're nearing to the entry here on gold. waiting for a trigger and then to rejection to the downside here. Expecting to trigger here with another test and then to reject again back below in the major direction. Here is we can see the market is approaching that level that we have expected for the price to go ahead, and would like to see a trigger and then to retest again back below here in this market. Are you guys ready? We might get a trigger very soon. The trade might get active very soon here. And if you look at here, you can see it's one single move back to the upside here. Okay, so here we can see the very narrow area. I'm going to enter this trade right now by market. We might see that very narrow area. We might get the trigger, but it's just 1 or 2 pip gap. So I am entering this trade by market just to avoid any that though we might see the market in fact got that trigger here. So active trade. The trade is active. If you are not active, then it's up to you if you want to go by market. My trade active, I have opened by market. So the trade is active. Expecting a rejection here from that high. So we are almost, the market is at the key level at the resistance line. We see there is a 1 hour candle closed with a pretty sharp bullish doji, and that bullish doji expecting the market to again to return back again after this rejection to the upside here. We see the market is on a very important key resistance line. We see there is one single move back to the upside where the trade is active, and would like to see that it's coming for deeper rejection here. That's why we can look for securing some pip after we see the market has shown that confirmation for potential rejection back below here in this market. So this is the 1 hour price action here also. Okay, it's ready for a potential break below here from the 1 minute. This is order block, and Welcome. Here we are on with the trade, expecting that the market to possibly come back here to the intraday support level from the 4 hour, and there's a 5 minutes another candle closed. This is a one single move to the upside here, which could even go back to 3383 level or may not. We want to see a short-term rejection here for this break of this 4 hour high, and that's what you want to take here. That rejection back below to this order block. If the market goes to 3376, come back here, we can look for securing some pip here in that area. So 5 minutes, we can see there is primary potential rejection coming. There's an overextension to the upside, and there's another 1 minute candle close coming here in this area. So the 30 minutes, so there is a cross of this key level of resistance here on the 5 minute chart, expecting the market to trend again to the direction of the major direction. Here is the lower time frame price action on the 1 minute. This is currently pretty sharply overextended, and here is looking for possible breakup structure, waiting for that breakup structure that I'm looking at. This is the 5 minutes, and here you can see the one very long move here. All right, let's go. Let's wait for the market to revert back again. This is pretty sharp, one single move, right, coming to that zone. Now there is a 5 minutes doji potentially be forming, and with this 5 minute doji, as the market has crossed that key level, I'd like to see that breaking below. I'm ready to take this trade to certain level and then to secure. Breakup structure is necessary to see the market at least to come to 3376 or above this level in that zone. And 5 minutes closing with doji. Here we would like to see the market to, this is the 5 minutes price action. Guys want to see, it's a very long move, and that long move in fact has hit that key level. And because it has hit that key level here, what we can expect the market to trend potentially back below or come back for a pullback. And that pullback is where we can look for possible, we see there is a doji formation on the 1 minute chart here. Here's the move. The market slowly building that pressure back below. Here is the move here, and we can see the price slowly breaking that low here, and we could see the market potentially continue to trend here. That's what we're waiting to see, a breakdown here from the structure and then to trend to the major direction. Well, we can see Gbpusd also started to trend back down to the direction of the trend. Welcome, welcome. We can see a potentially a reversal pattern formation here in this zone, and I'm holding on to this trade for a possible break below. We are just coming below our entry, coming to a neutral zone, and would like to see that the market having possible break below here to secure the first trade of the day. As we guys can see that we have a very incredibly high win rate in our live streaming as well as in the academy as well. That's the main goal here, is to teach you trading by showing in the live market how to trade the market, right? So this is what, I teach day in, day out. And the only thing that, I tell every trader is to be patient and know that trading is something that can change your life. Okay, it can give you freedom, and coming 2025, 2026, and then 2027, it's coming a time of artificial intelligence, and there is a lot of opportunity also coming along with that to become a trader and gain freedom as a trader. By being a trader, you can gain that financial freedom that every trader deserves. So if you think that you deserve financial freedom, then keep trading, keep learning. Here I'm giving the best possible, all the strategies, education, experience. The only thing that you need to make sure is that you become patient and keep learning, growing. Also, visit the website, guys. There is a link below this video where if you want to explore more about the academy, you can visit the website more often. There is promotion also, and also stay connected by joining the Telegram. You can find link below this video. Also the Telegram link also more often posted on the chat, where you can find more regular updates, education, as well as analysis. So we can see that from the 1 hour there is a rejection from the higher price. This is what expected. I would like to see the market, in fact, finally has broken below, because I don't want to close a very narrow trade or a break-even trade. Instead, I'd like to see that it has shown enough momentum below for this move. From the 5 minutes, we can see a long wick candle. All right, so let's wait to see how the market structure is evolving in this area, as it is overextended here. There's the move that you can see, and the price slowly building the pressure back below. So if it is a reversal pattern, you should be able to see some stronger drop below here in this market. From this resistance here, which is a key level of resistance, expecting to come back here, break that low, potentially to trend down. Now here we'd like to see that breakdown, and we see there is a structure formation which is forming a potential inverted head and shoulder, and now this structure needs to be broken below for another drop in this market. So waiting for that 1 hour price action that you can see is trying to move back here. Now if the market reject back here, that's where we need to see the price to come to fill that zone to create a new lower low. There's a pin bar on the 1 minute forming, and $3360 is big support. He already tested no. 3360. 3360 is well below here. If the market drops, it might drop completely back below to the weekly low if the trend continues to drop again here, depending on, in fact, how the market structure forming later today is important to look at. Now here it is building some kind of structure in that area. Now this move needs to be filled to break that low below. We need to be patient here, waiting for that. What is the major trend in 4-hour? Bullish. We have open from the sessions high for a potential drop, as the daily there is a sharp rejection from the daily high here. The market on a very important key level here. Now, what you can see on this lower time frame, now it has got that overextension to the upside. If we look at the 4-hour, we see there has been significant bounce on the 4-hour time frame, and from the lower time frame here, this is where all right, so it's on the very important key level. We have to see how far it's gonna overextend. This is a very overextension to the upside now, and 5 minutes price action as well. Pretty sharp overextension to the upside. We are halfway to this move. Previous support here from the 1 minute. After the liquidity grab here, the market managed to break that high, so we will be waiting to see how far it may come back here to this support level. As from the 1 hour again, we can see the market, this is the 1 hour support level here. which is very important support, expecting the market to show its hand here. So there is another 5 minutes candle close, which is closed as a bull candle. Now if this is overextension, we can expect that rejection back again below. You can look for this last point, and more often you see this kind of move is a false breakout. If it is a false breakout, we could see straight coming back below to this level. To the order block. There's the doji, and expecting the market to potentially with this doji. So if it is a false breakout, we are on a very good side, and we might see the market to trend back below here. If we see the prices cross this low, we can move the stop loss at entry for securing the trade. I'm still on it. Here is what you can see the market. If you look at in that area, what we see that there is a doji, and that doji, if you look at 1 minute bearish candle, expecting it to potentially fill that level in that direction here. I'm still holding on to that, and looking at the lower time frame here, you can see the market is in a if you look at here, it's here overextension. Yeah, we can see that rejection which is needed. That rejection, if that rejection is this is a false breakout, that expecting it to become a false breakout because it's already overextension to the upside here, expecting the market to fall down back below this swing low here. I hope that you guys enjoying the live session. Make sure you give a thumbs up. If you are enjoying, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done yet, press the notification bell so that you are not missing any of the content that I'm posting every day. Now here, this could be a false breakout, and in that case we might see the market straight dropping to that 4-hour support level. Running on this trade here for a possible drop back below. Massive drop here. We are on the profit zone suddenly. That's what we were looking to see. And waiting for that break of structure here. We can see that there is a sudden breakdown. Looking for a break of structure here. Here's the move that you can see from this level. Expecting the market to trend back below here. Are you guys with me? We are on the trade. The market is slowly trying to build the pressure back below. We see there is a multiple liquidity grab, expecting it to trend back down. Here's the move, expecting the market to boom, drop that low here. Okay, so the possibility for a drop here, waiting for that, there is a head and shoulder formation. So if this is a head and shoulder, this is a false breakout, expecting it to trend back down to the order block. And that's what we can take a good number of pip here. I'm looking at least above 30 pip, depending on how the market structure is forming in that area. But at the moment, wanting to see it's crossing this low, which is showing that potentially to come back below with a head and shoulder here. Are you guys with me? Say yes in the live chat if you're still running the trade. Do you think it's hedging to 4-hour resistance? Gbpjpy. Let me know in the live chat if you, what's your thought on that? Are you running the trade yet with me together? If you're enjoying the live session, make sure you like this stream. Thanks for joining the live session. All right, cool. We can see there is a possibility for a head and shoulder formation here. And that head and shoulder, if that is building properly, we could see that the market to melt down below in the major direction of the trend here. Now we'd like to see that breaking below here, potentially trend to down trend. There is a 5 minutes closed, and now if there is a weak fill here on the 5 minutes, we might see the market to trend back down with considering this one as a liquidity grab. There is a pin bar, back-to-back 2 pin bar here in that area, and we might see possible rejection. I'm waiting for that. If the market get rejected, we could see a straight drop back below to this 10 and 20 EMA, and that can go straight the market. The trade straight can go to the profit zone. All right, cool. We see that some downside momentum possible here in that area. And in the meantime, as I mentioned earlier, guys, if you're enjoying the live session, don't miss out to like this stream. Stay connected by joining. The link you can find in the description. Also visit the website for more updated education analysis, as well as to explore more about everything that we have in Forex Trading Wizard Academy. There is a long week, and now in this area, we look at here, we can see smaller candle is being created, and if this is a valid head and shoulder, which we could see, then we should be able to see the market to break that neckline and continue to trend back down here to the direction of the major trend. And in that case, we might see the market straight coming back to the 4-hour support level, or to this order block, which is the 1-hour order, 1 minute order block. And if the market coming to that 1 minute order block here, which will be nearly to for us to around 65 pip gain, if we see the market is coming to that level here. We see cross that high here on the 1 minute, still showing that bearish momentum in that area. Okay, so we see that there is a potentially a bearish engulfer on the 1 minute, which is showing that possible downtrending market structure here in that area. So that being said, there is a liquidity grab and then bearish engulfer, showing that possibility for this market to trend back down in our direction of our entry. So you see the market coming down here. Are you guys ready for this trade? And would like to see that it's dropping well below for us to be a worthy trade, to take it to at least 30 pip, 40 pip move needed for us to see for any to secure any kind of profit here. There's a bearish price action here in that area, and with the 10 and 20 MA crossover, we can see the market trending we are on the right direction so far, expecting to break that low, break this support, and then to continue to trend below to the intraday support level here. And with this head and shoulder, once the market managed to break the support, we might see a complete breakdown here to this intraday support level. I'm expecting further downside here on gold. Welcome, welcome, welcome in the trade. Very good, thank you. Awesome. So let's hold on to that, and would like to see that it managed to break that low here. That's our main objective, is to see the market in fact has started to trend back below to the major direction of the trend. And if you look at here, you can see that this is the lower time frame where now there is a 10 and 20 MA crossover on the 1 minute with this head and shoulder. We could see the price to possibly break that low and coming back here. Okay, so here is some bounce. Now this bounce that we can see, this is where we need to see the market fail to create a higher high. Then we can look for possible further downside here. This is the 15 minutes and 1 minute. If we look at, there's a 15 minutes candle close coming. Now this move, it needs to fail here, okay? So then we will be able to see the market coming to create a new lower low here. Okay, we see there is a break of structure again to the upside here, and that's where the main area that we can look for. This is the 15 minutes candlestick pattern. And with this 15 minutes price action, as the candle closing, with a doji, now if this is a false breakout on the 1 minute, if this is a false breakout, then we should see that the market trending here. We see got the rejection again back to the upside. Okay, with a pin bar here on the 1 minute. And here is this doji in that area that you can see. With a pin bar. And if this is a false breakout, as I mentioned earlier, then we could see the market straight coming back to break this low here, this support level, and that could lead the market continue to trend down here in the major direction. We see some rejection potentially coming here from the high. Now we are on the trade running in, and I think we could see that ultimately the market to break that low here, making it as a false breakout, and then to trend continue to down. So that could be, if you look at here, you can see it's a one single move again against the trend. So that is also completing a head and shoulder with the two right and left shoulder. That might lead the market to break below to this support level here. All right, so you can see there is a 1 minute candlestick pattern again, and what the sell entry. So sell, we are on the sell in that zone, so which is we entered earlier. We are running the trade, expecting it to potentially continue to trend back below to the order block, at least to that level. If you look at the 5 minutes, you can see it's a one single move, and the possibility for the trend, the market to come back to this 4-hour level is higher. As if we look at the bigger picture that you can see, this is the 15 minutes also, the market potentially to fill that long wick here, and then the market to trend back down here as it is overextended to the upside here. And this is forming kind of interesting market structure, but ultimately it's trying to break that low. Okay, so here on the 1 minute, creating long wick candles, which would like to see that breaking below, and Now looking at 5 minutes again in this area, and also the 15 minutes, the market forming a very narrow doji here. So this market, let's delete those lines here to make the chart clearer a little bit. And okay, so the possibility for the price to break still, and we are on the trade and wanting to see that it's breaking that low here to create a new lower low in this market. Okay, we can see that rejection from the higher price, and that's what we like to see, that it's breaking that low. From the 15 minutes, which is still narrow doji, and this candle would like to see that breaking below for us successfully run the trade. And okay, so 1 minute chart again. We want to see now a stronger breakdown. Here you saw that there was a sudden breakdown here, which is basically a pretty sharp break below. And looking at here on the 5 minutes, we see that there is a candle close coming, and in this 5 minutes time frame, after this long bearish candle, there's another pullback to the upside here on the 15 minutes. So you can see that also doji on the 30 minutes, that you can see also there is a, this is an overextension. And okay, so it's currently overextended again. We see the 5 minutes, pretty long bullish candle here, and we need false breakout here. So has done that false breakout. Are you looking at rejection from this level? Here is the move that you can see on the 15 minutes chart. There is a bearish candle with a long wick in that area, and if we look at the 1 hour, this is the 1 hour price action almost closing the 1 hour candle, and with this 1 hour candle closed in 2 minutes time, would like to see it's closing back below. So 4 hour is still one more hourly candle remaining for the 4 hour perspective here. And okay, depending on how now this structure is playing out will determine, and from here we could see that break to the upside or completely break below to the support level. Okay, getting some bounce here. 30 minutes candle closing, and if it wants to reverse here, we need to see that double top potentially, and here is pretty sharp long wick. While you can see that also Gbpjpy is gap open and trying to push back here. Our sell zone here on Gbpusd, while you are looking at gold to possibly to show a pattern here. So from the 1 hour that you can see on gold, this is a 1 hour price action candle closing with a after the previous candle, this candle also closing as a green, and now depending on if this is a false breakout, we would see the market to come back below here on the 1 hour, and from the 5 minutes it is on a double top formation at the moment. She's still holding on to the trade with a full patience in it, as the market on a very crucial level. If the price rejected from here, we could see that straight drop as 1 hour candle closed, and this 1 hour candle, if it is a false breakout here, we might see the market to come back here again straight drop, as there was a significant drop here. It's on a pullback, and if the 1 hour market drop down here, we could see the market to drop well below to this support level here. So still expecting that potential drop down. From the 30 minutes there you can see a narrow pin bar has formed, and one single move pin bar, we can expect a weak fill here as well on the 30 minutes. So waiting for a possible rejection back below after even forming a double top here. Depending on welcome, what we could see now is if the market breaking that high here 338485, it has created a pretty sharp double top here now. Okay, so overextended fully and overextended fully now. Next move will determine okay. Now from here, after this overextension, depending on now how the lower time frame price action will show, we can expect a pin bar here, okay, on the 5-minute chart, or a bearish candle, as it has got overextension here from the 1 hour candle close that we can see pretty big bull candle. Now this one has crossed this 1 hour high, we see there's a 5 minutes doji, and all right, cool. Here we can see there is a couple of long red candle. Now with this double top with a false breakout, we'll see that how the market structure is forming. Now depending on how the price action is forming, the 5 minutes there is a doji, and the 30 minutes here that you can see Now this 30 minutes candle that you can see, big long doji, which is to see that the market potential to fill that week here, and then if that's filling that week, the market to potentially come back below here. And with the doji on the 1 and 5 minute chart, if this market reverse, we could see that straight coming to that support level. Okay, here is the liquidity gap in that area, which is giving a possibility for the market to trend back down here. I'm still looking at this 30 minutes price action. There's a pretty big structure here, and they're still holding on this trade, and we are almost another 5 minutes close coming here. And with this 5 minutes candle close, if we look at, okay, so the market having some reaction from the high. Welcome. Okay, we see that there is a rejection here from the higher price, and we're looking at here. If you look at the 5 minutes and the 15 minutes and the 30 minutes, the 30 minutes price action that you can see, there is a possibility for a weak fill, and that weak fill, if the market fully coming to fill that week, they're expecting it to come back before the 4-hour close for the market to return again to the support level here, to the order block. So looking at here, if you look at the 1 minute chart, that there is an order block which is here. And if the market break this swing low here before the candle close, then this is a fair value gap on the little higher time frame. If you look at the 5 minutes, you can see that it's a full FVG. So from this to this is fair value gap. So if we see the market manage to break that low here, then we can expect it to suddenly drop below this level here, as it's a FVG on the 5 minute chart. Now here we see there is a breakup structure. (15 minutes) also nearly closing, which could form a doji. Which break out from this 5 minutes 10 EMA. So getting some reaction from the support level. So looking at the 1 hour and the lower time frame, this trade we have to hold it for a little more time. We see there is a sideways and the market there's another double top and a pin bar on the 1 minute. Now with a pin bar on the 1 minute and the double top, we'll see that if that's the move, the market wants to make a break to the structure. This is a very slow move here that you can see, and that slow move possibly to signaling potential breakup structure here. So what we see, another 15 minutes closed with a very narrow doji formation, and okay, so here we might see little side movement. I think still there is a high probability for the market to come back below, and I'm holding to that trade because of that reason here, that the market to possibly to break that low here. So there's a 5 minutes doji with multiple liquidity grab here, and so I'll be holding on to the trade, guys. We are almost nearly to the end of this live session here. The trade is on, and I'll keep you posted on the Telegram about any update with this trade. We'll be keeping running. If we close earlier than the profit target, I'll be giving an update on the Telegram channel. You guys can join there for any update that I'm posting. You can follow along if you are running the trade. As we are almost this trade, as you can see here, it's consolidating and now slowly trying to break that low. So with this head and shoulder, if the market managed to break 3380 level, depending on the price action, we'll be able to either close the trade with the running profit or put running, depending on how the market structure possibly be created in that area. So here, expecting that the market trend to break below 3380. If the market breaks 3380, we are on the we will be taking the trade with the running profit. Here we can see some downside here, and let's keep running the trade until it shows any results. I will be posting an update on both Telegram if any update with this trade. That being said, I will be coming on live again, guys, in a few hours for the NY session. If you are following, you could see that again trading there. Until that, stay well, stay happy, trade safe, and this trade still on from the 1 hour. Also, I think we still can expect that the market to break below, as it created significant imbalance in that direction to the downside. That being said, thank you for joining. I'll see you guys again very soon trading live.